and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo or Larinde. Let's begin in South Africa. Local media is reporting that former President Jacob Zuma has been expelled from the African National Congress, the party he once led after campaigning for a rival party in the 29 May general election. According to a leaked ANC document, the party's disciplinary committee found him guilty of prejudicing the integrity of the party by joining Umkhonto weSizwe, the MK party, and has given him 3 weeks to appeal against the ruling. The ANC has not officially confirmed his expulsion, while the MK party says Mr. Zuma had not been notified of the decision taken. Mr. Zuma was an ANC veteran but fell out with the party after he was forced to quit as president in 2018 over corruption scandals. He has always denied any wrongdoing. Well, let's get more on this story. Joining us now is Channels Television's correspondent in Johannesburg, Innocent Samosa. Hello, Innocent. Thank you for your time. What more can you tell us about this making the rounds that the former president has been expelled from the ANC?
Indeed, Layo, a very good evening to you and our viewers around the world. Yeah, a remarkable news coming out over the weekend. Of course, this comes at the back of the leaked document of the NDC. This is the National Disciplinary Committee of the African National Congress about the expulsion of former President Jacob Zuma. I can confirm now that he is indeed expelled by the party. In fact, before we come on air, the Secretary General of the ANC was addressing members of the media just a little hour ago, where he was detailing that the former president essentially he has contravened Act 20, Section 25 of the Constitution of the African National Congress, where it speaks about due prudence and it speaks about integrity. But of course, Layo, it goes without saying that this is one of the biggest, two of the biggest ANC big politicians in recent years to be expelled by the ANC. One is that of Ace Magashule, who is the former secretary of the party, now is the former president of the party, who served for quite a long time, as you rightly alluded in your intro. He's been expelled because he actually said that he's not going to support the ANC leading up to the elections. And of course, he, in many respects, he's the one that made the ANC to drop below 40%. Hence, we are seeing the government of national unity. So indeed, he has been expelled by the party. He has 21 days to essentially appeal his expulsion. It's going to be interesting, Layo, to see whether or not he's going to rebut his expulsion.
So, Innocent, does this mean we've not heard, any reaction to this from Mr. Zuma himself? And we've heard some things from the MK party, which he founded.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, the MK party spokesperson, Nhlamulo Ndlele, came on local media earlier saying that the letter that was circulating, it was a forged signature of former President Jacob Zuma. So, in fact, he's saying that the ANC should have dealt with this better. You would remember that this disciplinary hearing, the writing was on the wall that indeed he's going to be expelled. In fact, he had terms and conditions as to how he wants this disciplinary hearing to be conducted. In fact, they wanted him to do virtually, but he says no, he wants to do it in person, where the ANC was seeing, the fact that there might be clashes outside the ANC's headquarters with the MK party members, with the ANC. So they were averting that possibility. So they wanted him to essentially have this disciplinary hearing online, but he refused to do that. So I guess the ANC really took time, and it's difficult for the ANC. They find themselves in a very precarious position given the nature of the person that they're dealing with. This is the former president. This is the former president of the country and the former president of the ANC, and somebody who served for a long time in the African National Congress. So it really, in a way, one would say it was special in that they didn't act quickly, but because of the person that they're dealing with, they were treading carefully so that they don't, cause confusion and cause more riots on the streets because of the followers of former President Jacob Zuma.
Indeed, in a sense. But could this have any impact whatsoever on the, political sphere of the country, or what kind of impact could this have?
Yeah, indeed. It's going to be interesting, as I've indicated, if whether or not he's going to appeal his expulsion. If he does that, this could very well be that he does not want peace. In fact, he wants to continue, troubling the African National Congress. But I would imagine that he will just smoke his peace pipe for now and concentrate on consolidating the MK party, as now we do know that they are the a main opposition party in the country. As you would know, that the DA and the ANC, the IFP, and other political parties have formed the Government of National Unity. So the MK party and the EFF, they call themselves Progressive Caucus. So in other words, they are in the opposition benches. So I would imagine that right now, what he would want to do is to consolidate structures on the ground, because they do not have a proper structure, really, to say the least, because we don't know whether or not they're going to go to an elective conference to elect its leadership, and we don't know who is who, actually, but we do know that they're in parliament and they're the main opposition party in parliament. So for now, I would imagine that the former President Jacob Zuma, that is, he would want to go back and consolidate structures so that he can be a constructive opposition party in parliament.
All right, then we'll wait and see how it all pans out. But thank you so much, Innocent Samosa, our correspondent in South Africa.
Thank you, colleague.
We're still in South Africa. Over 90 Libyan nationals who were arrested at a camp resembling a military training base in Mpumalanga province are expected to appear in court. The Libyans were arrested at the camp originally designated for security training following a raid that police and Home Affairs officials conducted last Friday. The men are facing charges of contravention of the Immigration Act. Police Minister Senzo Muchunu has reiterated that the designated security training facility in Mpumalanga resembles a military training camp. He says the owners of the facility have violated certain regulations as per their application.
These things point to a number of issues that we are focusing on following the arrest. One, it is that the process of visa applications, there were certain violations there which are being identified, and that will be finalized at some point. But here, while this facility here is legal in terms of SIRA processes, but on further scrutiny, it has been found that what is happening here is not in accordance or is not compliant with the application in terms of detail.
12 Libyan officials have received prison sentences ranging between 9 and 27 years in prison for their role in the catastrophic dam collapse that killed more than 4,000 people last year, September. The convicted officials were responsible for managing water resources and maintaining the dams. They have been charged with crimes including negligence, premeditated murder, and wasting public money. Well, last year, September, entire neighborhoods in the city of Derna in Libya were swept away and evacuation efforts were botched. The public prosecutor's office said 3 of the defendants were also ordered to repay money obtained through illicit means. 4 others put on trial were acquitted. An international report back in January said the dams gave way partly due to poor maintenance and governance during more than a decade of conflict in Libya. People in Sudan's North Darfur region are facing acute food and medical supply shortages as fierce clashes in May between the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces erupted in El Fasher. That's the capital city of North Darfur state. According to the State Ministry of Health in the region, the recent escalation of conflicts in El Fasher has resulted in the deaths of around 750 civilians, with over 4,700 injured. The World Health Organization says currently 800,000 people are trapped in El Fasher. Humanitarian aid is not able to enter the city, leading to an extreme shortage of food, medicine and other supplies. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has warned that as the armed conflict continues, the humanitarian situation in Sudan will also deteriorate even more. Now, several communities in western Equatoria's Tambura County recently celebrated the handover of completed quick impact projects funded by the United Nations mission in South Sudan to local authorities. Among the UN-financed initiatives were 3 bridges in Yubu, Tobewa and Bondri, all of which were constructed to promote and facilitate the voluntary return and reintegration of internally displaced people and refugees. All these new pieces of infrastructure are expected to connect people and improve access to health services, schools and the markets.
To help the community in general, in terms of agriculture, transporting their goods to the market, to ease the movement of people from the village to town, for security purpose, and also it is part of development.
This bridge will serve or support to facilitate protection of civilians either side. It will help the government to deploy security organs to ensure that civilians are safe. The bridge will facilitate the access of humanitarian either side.
Well, let's now bring you the stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
Families of landslide victims in the Ethiopian region of Gofa mourned on Sunday as the search operations continue. Selamesh Serawit, in a tent with her sister, says she lost her father, 3 brothers, and an additional 20 members of her family during the landslide. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said on Thursday that the death toll is expected to rise to up to 500 people. At least 257 people died last week when heavy rainfall triggered a landslide, burying people in the Gofa zone of southern Ethiopia on Sunday night, and a second one on Monday engulfed those engaged in rescue efforts. On Saturday, the Democratic Republic of Congo released 420 prisoners from its largest and most overcrowded prison after images of dire conditions posted to social media by recently freed journalists sparked widespread outcry. According to prison rights activist Emmanuel Cole, Makala Prison was built in 1957 to house 1,500 inmates. It now holds around 15,000 people, with the vast majority in pre-trial detention.
What we're doing is looking at the extent to which we can drastically reduce the overcrowding, enabling us to completely refurbish the prison, while at the same time building another prison.
Vous comptez 3 millions d'habitants, 1 million d'habitants.
The overcrowding has led to dire health conditions. In early 2023, 66 inmates died in just 2 months due to malnutrition, suffocation, and lack of medical care. Saturday's release came week after formerly detained journalist Dennis Bujakera shared images of overcrowding and poor living conditions inside the facility. He was released in March after being held for 6 months on charges of spreading false information. Crowds of citizens of Niger gathered at a stadium in the country's capital, Niamey, to mark the first anniversary celebration of last year's military coup in which President Mohamed Bazoum was overthrown. Thousands of cheering locals celebrated inside the stadium, wearing clothing in the colors of the Niger flag, listening to speeches made by officials and watching performances by dancers and singers. Niger's leader, Abdurrahmane Tiani, can be seen arriving and observing the event from the grandstand. On July 26, 2023, a military takeover ousted the president of Niger, Mohamed Bazoum, and installed General Abdurrahmane Tiani, a leader of the Presidential Guard, as head of state. This followed similar uprisings in Mali in 2021 and Burkina Faso in 2022.
At least 9 people have died and several others injured at a live concert in the Democratic Republic of Congo over the weekend. Gospel singer and pastor Mike Kalambe was performing at the 80,000-seater Matthias Stadium in the capital, Kinshasa, but photos were taken at the event showed scenes of overcrowding. According to officials, a 10-year-old child is among those who died. Governor of Kinshasa, Daniel Bumba, has released a statement blaming excesses and crowd movements for the disaster, while the Justice Minister has ordered an investigation and the questioning of the police officers who were present at the time and also the event organizer. Reports from northern Ethiopia say at least 12 people have drowned after their boat sank in the Amhara region. The wooden vessel was taking passengers to a funeral across the Tekeze River, which runs along Ethiopia's border with Eritrea. The boat was said to have been hit by flash floods and capsized. Well, 26 people were thought to have been on board when the accident happened. It is not yet clear if all the bodies of those who died have been recovered from the water. Work on an out-of-use bridge which spans the Tekeze River was due to be finished last month, but had been delayed. Nigeria's Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, is assuring Nigerians in the diaspora that the much-expected diaspora voting will happen during the tenure of the 10th Assembly. Honorable Abbas gave the cheery news during the opening ceremony of 2024 National Diaspora Day under the auspices of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, in Abuja. Represented by his deputy, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Speaker said he reintroduced the bill on diaspora voting at the plenary session a week ago and it had passed through the first reading. The Speaker also urged Nigerians living abroad to be patriotic and remain connected to their homeland by contributing to its development. Well, during the two-day event, Chairman CEO, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, called on the Parliament to pass the diaspora voting bill as a way of encouraging Nigerians living abroad to do more and have a say in the political activities in the country. According to her, the diaspora voting bill aims to grant over 20 million Nigerians living overseas the right to vote, recognizing their substantial impact through remittances and investments back in Nigeria. Well, the Nigeria-Britain Association has held its annual presidential dinner where members got to meet, rub minds and network. The Nigeria-Britain Association is known as a friendship association, bringing together people who want to network beyond the borders of Nigeria and Britain. The event was attended by business people, thought leaders, members of the diplomatic community, and some government officials at the residence of the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos State.
We particularly commend your social, cultural, educational, and other programs designed to bring together friends, corporate associations and organizations from Nigeria, Britain and the Commonwealth with a collective vision to positively impact the community. As a state, the administration of Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu is committed to fostering an environment that encourages wholesome and sustainable development. We are working to enlarge and enable the space for all partners to fully contribute to the development of the state, and we're optimistic that the Nigeria-British Association will continue to work with us as we move in the journey to achieving a greater Lagos of our dream.
Yeah, one of the things we're planning this year, we believe that I've gotten the feedback that we're being so quiet, that people don't even know about us, that despite that we're 55 years, some people are just knowing for the first time. So we're going to use this platform of 55th anniversary to blow our trumpet, to see what we've been doing so far, and we'll be able to attract people in. And also one of the major projects we're also trying to do is to have a property of our own, which also will be able to attract members to us, so that members will have a place to relax, and also to be a place that it will be nice for us to have network and meeting regularly. I think those are, and then all our programs we need also to publicize it more than we've been doing. I think those are the things we're going to do.
Channels Television News Southern Africa has been honored with an award for its outstanding contributions to the Nigerian community and for promoting a positive Nigerian image in the region. The event, hosted by the Congress of Nigerian Students at the University of Johannesburg, recognized the station's efforts in fostering unity and positive representation. Our South Africa correspondent, Innocent Samosa, has the details.
The Congress of Nigerian Students at the University of Johannesburg, also known as CONSUJ, inaugurated its new leadership. The new leadership promised to address the challenges facing Nigerian students at the university.
Congratulations. Welcome back. Congratulations.
The university also took the opportunity to express their heartfelt gratitude for working with the community.
From a community engagement project, they have really been giving back to the community. Many of them have participated in projects like educational weekly organized outreach projects in different schools, in townships like Soweto, with us, Alexandra, Diepsloot. So they are open-minded, and when they serve also with an open heart.
A message for Nigerian students in South Africa.
I think for Nigerians that are here, that are in academia or in good trade, nicely documented, I think they should continue paying taxes and doing great work, do their research, reach out to their country again, also for their roots.
My message is just for them to be focused and work towards the interests of Nigerian students in Johannesburg, University of Johannesburg. And whenever need our support as the National Association of Nigerian Students in South Africa, we are here with them to support them fully.
The event also honored individuals who are shaping a new Africa. Channels Television News Southern Africa was recognized for its efforts in fostering unity and positive representation of Nigerians in the country. Attendees praised the station for its role in bridging cultural gaps and enhancing mutual understanding.
It was necessary for us to give channels this award because they've shown so much support to the Nigerian community. We see that as a great community service to the Nigerian students at the University of Johannesburg.
This recognition underscores the importance of media in shaping public perception and fostering community ties. Channels Television News Southern Africa's dedication to these principles have earned them this well-deserved honor. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Samosa, Channels Television News.
And that's it on the programs today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.